Hey there! Today I'll have a look at a very interesting pen which I think you're going to enjoy because it's a special one. And it is a Delta pen, but this one was sent to me by B.R.E of Chatterley Luxuries, and just to make sure, I only got this to review it, so after this I'll send it back to him. Maybe. No, I'll send it back. And what we're talking about is the Delta Vespucci Encore Argento in wood. Now you may have seen my review of the Delta Dolce Vita Oversize, which is a very large pen. And this pen is very close in size, except it's made of wood. And I got this, I was chatting a bit with Brian, and he said that he was interested in seeing a review of this pen. So here we go. Okay, a wood pen. And it's not just any wood, it's wood made from a training ship of the Italian Navy, which was launched in 1931. Also, it is a highly limited edition. There's only 25 of these pens. I'm just figuring out, being a Visconti guy, I always look at the bottom for the number, but this is actually number 7 of 25. So, highly limited edition, and available from Chatterley Luxuries. So if you want it, you'll need to go there. Now, what I'm going to do is cover the parts of the pen. I'll tell you what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and then I'll do a writing sample. Let's start at the very top, right there, finial. As you may be able to see, it has the Delta nib on there as a logo. Then you have this clip. The clip has the little wheel Delta is known for. It's definitely a nice and springy clip. Now what you can really see well here is that wood. The wood really adds something to it, I think. It gives a very nice, warm feel. Alright, on the cap, on this side, it says 7 out of 25, and at the top it says Delta Italy. And all these details you see, these trims, are actually sterling silver. Okay. Here is a blind cap which you unscrew, and you can actually see it's wood, and pretty thick wood too, but it does have metal threads. I'll come back to that in a second. Here you have the piston turning knob. It is Delta's ratchet piston system. And then of course we have the pen. I'm just going to put the blind cap back on. There we go. Here you have the nib. It's a very large number 8 nib, so it's definitely big. And you have a metal section. Now a metal section, I know that's not for everyone, but I'll come back to that in a second too. Okay, and then here we have a very nice flat feed, which is the same I had in my Dolce Vita Oversize, and it's ebonite. And the nice thing, of course, about ebonite is that you can heat set it. So should your pen for some reason not write very well, you can always heat set it yourself, which is a lot easier with an ebonite feed than it is with a plastic feed. Okay, so there you have the pen, the rundown on the pen. What do I like about it, what do I not like about it? Well, being an oversized pen guy, I really like the size of this pen. It's big and not so much long, but it has a lot of girth, and that makes it, if you have larger hands, makes it very nice to hold. I will say though that this is stretching it. It's a big, thick section, so if you have smaller hands, I think you may find that this is not the pen for you. Okay, what do I like about it, not like about it? Well, the wood finish is hard to hate. It's beautiful, it's warm, and it has a very unique color. It reminds me a little bit of bamboo, to the extent that it has that very nice beige color, but also has quite some green in it, which you can see here, for example. I also think the silver trim works very well. It's a very nice color, and it just makes the pen feel very warm. The wood, it works well. Okay, I also like that they put metal threads on this, because wood threads, hard to make, and they can also wear out. And you do actually see that in the cap, I don't know how I can see this in this light, but that is actual wood, and the threads are wood too. And this, of course, is metal, and metal on wood can definitely lead threads to wear out. So that is something I would be a little careful about, and this is not a pen I would fiddle around and play around with. I would be a little careful and only uncap it when you want to use it. That may sound like common sense, but think about it. Okay. The metal section. Now, metal sections are not for everyone, and even though this is a nicely shaped section that goes down and then flares out a bit, metal sections are not for everyone. They can get a little slippery, and I absolutely agree with it. However, in this case, I think it was smart to go for a metal section. The reason being that if you dip wood into a bottle of ink, and you would have to dip this into a bottle of ink because it is a piston filler, it doesn't take cartridges. If you dip wood into ink, it'll stain. So I think it's a very smart idea to turn this into a metal section, even though I know it puts off some people. Okay, so these are things I like about it. I think it is a well-constructed pen. It's well thought out. Vespucci, of course, the famous explorer, I think this does definitely do him justice. And being an explorer who used to go out on sailing ships, it's very nice that it's actually made from wood that was used in a training ship for the Italian Navy. Now, what's the damage on this? These are not cheap pens. You can imagine that if it's Delta, a good brand, and there are only 25 of these, it's not going to be a $20 pen. The price on this, on Brian's website, is $550 right now. And to be honest, I think that could be a lot worse. It's not cheap, but you will get a highly limited edition pen made of a gorgeous wood. So, although I'm not affiliated with Brian and I do not get this, I do not get to keep this, so don't think that I'm biased here, and I think you could do a lot worse than get this, especially if you have a nice desk and you want to put something out there that works well and that looks nice. One thing I forgot to mention, and that's of course a crucial thing to mention, is how does it write? Well, my writing experience with this pen has been pretty good. Very nice, very smooth, in this case medium nib. The nib is gold. It is rhodium plated for the silver trim. But it is, I'm just figuring out if it was 14 or 18, no, it's a 14K nib. It writes very smoothly, it writes very nicely, it wrote very wetly, but it ran dry. After about, I think, a page and a half of writing, it ran dry, and that was a bit of an issue. Now, that was upon my first inking up. I had done nothing to clean the pen upon arrival. So what I did was I flushed it with water with just a touch of dishwashing detergent, then a lot of water to flush it out again, and that seemed to improve writing. Even so, it still ran dry. And what I will say is that after the cleaning procedure, it restarted a lot faster. So you never know if that is part of this particular pen. The nib and feed do seem to be aligned properly to me. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It could be that it's just a little dry, or runs dry, maybe there's some air replacement, but in any case, of course, you could expect for a 550 pen that it would flow freely and not stop writing. Again, it could be just this pen. I will try it out a bit more, and do bear in mind it ran dry after about a page and a half of writing continuously at pretty high speed. That is taxing to any fountain pen, but it's something that you may want to check. Now also, I know Brian, and I know that if this should happen to your pen, he'll make sure that it ends up fine and you'll be completely satisfied. So I wouldn't worry about that too much, but given the price of the pen, that may be an issue. Okay, I think we've covered it well enough. I'm going to give you a couple of measurements. This is a big pen and it's heavy. It weighs 60 grams in total. 16 grams in the cap, 44 grams in the body. The capped length is 143.8 millimeters, 5.66 inches. Uncapped length of 136.6 millimeters, that's 5.38 inches. And posted is a whopping 184 millimeters, that's 7.24 inches. And I think you will see that this pen is really, really big when you post it. But because this is wood, I didn't find it top heavy. Okay, barrel diameter, it's big and it's thick, as I said, 15.6 to 15.8 millimeters, that's 0.61 to 0.62 inches. Section diameter is 13.7 to 14.7, that's 0.54 to 0.58 inches. Alright, Brian, thanks a lot for lending me this pen. I enjoyed it. Guys, I hope this was useful, and let's do a writing sample. I'll gladly see you later. Bye bye. Okay, so here we go with the Delta Vespucci Encore Argento. The nib is a 14K medium, and the ink is Ackerman Royal Blue. this nib is really, really pleasant to use. It's very smooth. I really, really love this. Very soft on the paper. It's not so much flexy, but it's just so smooth. Okay, fast writing. As I mentioned in the video, in the early part of the video, I have had this pen run dry, but as you can see, that really appears to happen after writing with it for a while, because upon startup, this has just been capped for an hour or so, it just picks up straight away, and it writes actually very wetly. It's a really wet line. Okay, line variation, clearly I have to send this back, so I want to make sure not to spring it. But as you can see, you can definitely squeeze out some, and even I've got the feeling I'm not pushing this to its max. Not advertised as a flex nib, but you can definitely get out some line variation. You can also do reverse writing. It is scratchier, but if you really need to go from medium to a fine, you can at least scribble a few words like this. Okay, Bryant, thanks a lot for sending me these pens. I really appreciate it. I'll send them back to you as soon as I can. Guys, I hope this was useful, and I'll gladly see you later.